in Rome, and we're going to have a little chat with Sergio Magana. He's a very powerful healer, spokesman and representative of an ancient tradition from Toltec at Mexica. Through several techniques, exercises, new revelation and prophecy, it can lead you, drive you to a more consciousness of your life and who you are, and transform completely your life. So welcome to Sergio. Thank you very much to be here. And I would like to ask you if you can explain us a little bit more about your ancient tradition and how it can help us to make a difference in our life, to transform it, so to make a change.
Okay. Hi, Marcia. It's such a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I belong to the Mexica, that is the Aztec and Toltec tradition. It's very old. It comes from the Teotihuacans, then Toltecs, Aztecs. Even the Toltecs were the masters of the Mayans. So we took like the calendar from the same sources, previous cultures that developed in Mexico. So we have certain dates. We created calendars that have certain dates of how the cosmos, the movement and rhythm of the cosmos affect the earth. Not astrology exactly. And the most important things, Toltec means artist warrior. So how to become the artist of your own spiritual war. How to transform the four forces that rules your life. Your black Tezcatlipoca, that is your unconscious, the force of renewal that every day you can have if you change how you dream, your instincts, your repetitive patterns to get a different knowledge. So it's a complete training and a complete relationship between everything. You feel like you are part of this immense movement. How to very, very advanced old, because they are so old techniques, but for nowadays very advanced, of how to enter how we call Nahual, tonal Nahual, that was put into the world by Carlos Castaneda, but in a not exact way. How to develop your Nahual, that is your energetic being, who you are sleeping, and who could you be death, and how to develop that, to plant dreams, to change how you dream. And if you change how you dream, you change completely your reality. So it's an amazing, complete kind of knowledge of how to transform yourself like the universe transformed itself.
You give to people techniques and exercises to get into the sleep and transform the sleep from unconscious to something that brings you to a kind of awareness to lead the dream. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, obviously your unconscious is working for you and not just, from itself, right?
First of all, I would like to say I am like modernizing the language, because unconscious didn't exist in that time. We called it like our cave. In the tradition, we are divided into main two things. Tonal, that is who you are in the day, who you are awake. For example, you are Marcia in the day, I am Sergio, I know myself. But Nahual is that energetic being who you are in the night. So there are two types of training. The training of the tonal, to change completely yourself based on the breathings and cycles of the universe, and the training of the Nahual, that it's so ancient, but so sophisticated, because people nowadays feel that they are completely modern, and people don't know anything about these kind of things. It's how to domesticate who you are while you are sleeping, with certain techniques to plant dreams that for us is very poetic. You even see to plant a specific type of dreams with some symbols, with direction, how the dream must happen. And when you do this and you dream that, it happens in the tonal, because the Nahual for us creates the tonal. We have these kind of phrases like life is a dream and dreams create life. Or for example, for the Mexica, they say someone that don't remember their dreams is a living dead, because he has no control over his dreams, over his life. So that's the main training of the Nahual, being able to take first an identity in the Nahual, because almost everyone lost consciousness and don't know who he is, probably appears in his shape or not. Take an identity. Find yourself in the dreaming. Make your dreaming being to do what you want, to command your life, and then it happens. You have even been in one of my seminars and you saw people that are doing this, that now it's totally transformed.
It's true, because the latest seminar that he gave in Turin, I was there, and there was a lady that got a beginning of a cancer of the intestine. Her mother died for cancer intestine, and so her auntie. And after Sergio workshop, and especially after, you know, when he has teached the techniques and exercises, now she has the test and the paper, that testimony that now she is completely fine, she has been healed. So I can prove and test it that it's really something that is work.
Less than 1 month. Yeah. The dream is so powerful. For example, for the tradition, we don't have exact measure of energy. I cannot say hertz and that thing, because this is a very ancient knowledge. But we said that the tonal had that a power, the awake, from 1 to 13, and the Nahual from 1 to 52. So it has 4 times more power to work in your dreams than to work in your awake. That's what some people in almost non-tradition and knowledge nowadays ignore. They try to do the changes in their awake, and it's so difficult because you're sleeping that you don't know. That is terrifying. Imagine to lose consciousness 8 hours a day, or 7 or 6, the time you sleep, and that part of yourself do whatever he wants and repeat patterns and all those things. So you are fighting all the day to change. You go to your therapy, you do your meditation, your postures, or whatever, and then the sleeping one reverses it. So that's why people change a little bit and then go back, change a little bit and then go back. You must have a very strong tonal to be able to do changes in the awake. But with the Nahual, if you learn how to do it, it can really transform you.
Sergio, most of the people, you know, they ask to have something back. You know, for example, they want to have a better job, they want to be more healthy, or, you know, something in their life. So sometimes they ask to receive, you know, to receive what they ask for. And instead, you are following your tradition, you say and explain another kind of way to act, to receive what the people want.
Of course. In Mexico, these Nahuatl cultures began in Teotihuacan. That is a huge place that lots of people know because pyramids and all those kind of things. Teotihuacan literally means where men became creators. So it was like an ancient place of training to become a creator. Like I told you, we are divided into tonal Nahual. So there are techniques of creation in the awake that are done, synchronizing, tuning yourself with the rhythm of the universe and all those kind of things that are powerful. but not as powerful as commanding the dream. If you command the dream, you have certain codexes of how exactly to plant it. So I have thousands of students in Mexico and in several parts. And they give you the testimony of very common things. For example, that I planted the job of my daughter in the dream. I planted my partner or whatever. You know how to do it. The main purpose of the tradition, like I said, is artist warrior. I love that word because it's not war, outside war. It's to make your work with yourself, haunting your dream, not to lose conscious, and to become the artist of your own life.
You also prepare people to leave the body, in terms to die, and in your tradition, how do you consider death? And which is your advice, or your knowledge to prepare us at the best for it?
Okay, for the tradition, there is no death. For example, we have two main cycles. The short cycle, that is awake dreaming, tonal nahual, and then alive death. For example, dreaming for us in Nahuatl is temictli, and it means the one that died. So, for example, in the Nahuatl tradition, in the Toltec Mexica, you were prepared for dying consciously first in the dreaming. If you don't learn how to dream, you don't know how to die. So there are three types of death. The one that happens for the liver, the one that happens from the heart, and the one that happens from the head. So, if you lose consciousness while you are dreaming, you will lose consciousness totally when you die, and you will be like in a dream. And your mind can be trapped for ages in the things that you didn't overcome in the tonal in your life. So, the same training to plant dreams and to become aware of them is to become aware when you get dead, and then is to clean this channel between the navel and the heart. So when you died, you could die consciously from here and go to the sun. That for us is like the concept of illumination. Or if you are even more a kind of a spiritual ambition, to climb from here to here, to die from the head. That would be in other traditions a Buddha or an avatar, and for our tradition that is what we name Nahual. The one that always remains individual, that can come and go and do wonderful things, and they still exist.
But so in terms practically, how we can prepare ourselves, so through your techniques and exercises. So if we prepare ourselves during the night, during the sleep, with all the things that you tell us, we prepare ourselves to die at the best, right?
Yeah, of course. Like I told you, temicli, that is going to sleep, is it means the same in Nahuatl. The one that is dying, it's like a kind of short death every night. So if you learn how to sleep, you learn how to die.
Perfect.
So you are prepared since you were a little boy for this. And that's how we were called eagle warriors or jaguar warriors, the ones that we were prepared for that.
No, because in our culture, I mean the Western culture, death is something very terrible to escape or to not think about, or something to avoid, to think, and something scary. Instead, in your culture, it seems to be something that give you, it's something to live with. It's something that you have to take care of it, and or something that you have to prepare for it.
Of course, and it's you know that in Mexico nowadays we have like the biggest feast of the world of the death. it's kind of a feast where you invite your ancestors to come and all those things. But now it's 2 or 3 days. But in the ancient calendar, it was 60 days. So there were 60 days of the year dedicated to the death and how to prepare for that. And then you had this. This is now in the New Age. These are the fantastic stories of the 13 crystal skulls and all those things. That I haven't heard of that. Never in Mexico, but okay. Let's. But you created like a skull of your own death, a beautiful one. So you were preparing yourself for that moment, since you were a child, and it doesn't mean that you are going to die before. It's totally the opposite. If you are preparing for the death, you never. For us, all in means movement. So everything must be in movement. So if you are preparing for that, you are always taking the heavy energy of you. So you have much more time. And to develop all your capacities, because for a glorious death you must have lived a glorious life.
Most of you, I'm sure, they have heard about the Maya prophecy 2012 about the end of the world. And I would like to ask to Sergio what is instead is the prophecy of the Toltec Mexica. And so what's going to happen 2012?
Okay. Both calendars, Mayan and Toltec, were taken for and the Aztec, that is more exact, because the stone with the sun, that is the calendar that almost all the world know is Aztec, not Mayan, were taken from the mystic Zapotec cultures. So we have similar dates. The movement of precession of equinoxes, that for us is the movement of our sun around the Pleiades, it's a cycle of 26,500 years. We have a base 4. Why 4? Because we saw that in the cosmos everything has like a kind of mathematic 4. 4 main times in the day, that is the rising, the midnight, midday, 4 phases of the moon, 2 solstices, 2 equinoxes, that mathematics. So we divided that big cycle of the sun in four movements, we can say it. So each period is of 6,625 years. So what it happened is that the 2012 was for all the society the end, because the Mayans were in decadence really when the Spanish came, where the knowledge was in Tenochtitlan, in the Aztec culture. So they made predictions for 2 suns more. But these round calendars, what people don't understand is that they don't, when one ends, is not the end. It's just a cycle when the other is beginning. If you know the real Mayan elders, the count is not the 2012. The count ended 2 weeks ago, like in the 28th of October of 2011. So it didn't happen. We are still here. We are doing this interview in Rome. So it wasn't the end. Yeah, it wasn't the end of the world. But there are for example, if you translate the Nahuatl, not the Mayan chronicle, the 5th sun is the one that is finishing. So it is said, this sun will finish with earthquakes. There will be lots of suffering and everyone will die. If you see that literally, it's like, oh my God. What does it mean? Really, we are also like they divided in. We divide because I am a Toltec still. I see myself like that. The sun in like in metaphor, like the day. So we are going out from a sun of night. So it's beginning a sun of the rising, the dawn of a new sun. So if you go from the night to the rising, the solar activity rises. So now it's being proved everywhere. You know that there are these solar explosions and all those things that hits the earth and makes more earthquakes. That's for sure. But also, what it means is that the social, economical, religious, family structures will have like kind of earthquake, and all of us will die because we must be forced to change with the universe. And what is great that I haven't seen in the Mayan prophecies, because they only gave the prophecies, not the Mayans, what is written outside. But in our culture we have the preparation, the exact preparation, that it begins. We have like two main forces. The black Tezcatlipoca is the unconscious and the dreaming, to change that so that you have a different renovation, different patterns, and you got your Quetzalcoatl, a different knowledge. So how to get your rising with the sun, to be reborn with the universe. That's the thing. And it's a beautiful opportunity, because all this universe is again having a new cycle. So if we know it and we tune with that big way of change, we can live our best lives. I know two versions. Those ones that are very pessimistic and they say cataclysm, all those things, and the other that are so naive that let's dress in white and go to Chichen Itza or whatever, and the new age. Yeah, both of them are false. This is a personal decision, what you do or what you don't. In these times, if you don't do anything, you will have your personal cataclysm. It's true. If you change with the universe, you will have the best time of your life. But it's a personal decision, and I always say this in every interview and when I can. If you decide to be unconscious, it's a personal decision. If you get information and you don't do anything, it's other personal decision. And if you get information and you change, it's your decision of to be together with the universe, part of it and part of this huge change that is happening.
Explain a little bit more of the sixth sun.
Of course. Like I told you, we call suns periods of 6,625 years. But like in nature, in our calendars, it's not exactly that one day finish one sun and the other starts the next day. It's like in nature. For example, every day it's dark and then light comes little by little and then it's day. So the transition between suns began in 1991, when the sixth sun began entering into the fifth sun time, for example. And lots of things changed there. You see the Twin Towers, everything began changing. Then they will be like in the same kind of power in the alignment of the 21st of December of 2012. And then little by little the fifth sun is going to go out, and the sixth sun will be by himself in 2021. But the fifth sun was named Tecpatl Tonatiuh. It means the son of justice. Not justice as punishment. It's justice of what you create in this system is what you get. So in this period, especially from 2012 to 2021, that is like his farewell tour of the fifth sun, he will be doing lots of justice. That people will be, with the alignment, like we are closer to the center of the galaxy, things are accelerating. So we will get what we dream and what we think much quicker. So that this could be fantastic or this could be terrible. Because if you don't do anything to change your dream, what you are creating a dream that you are even unconscious, you will get it. You will get it quicker and quicker and quicker. But if you change your dreams, if you change all this, what we call the cave, your unconscious, you can get the best results. The sixth sun is named Istak-Tonatiuh, the white sun. The white refers to the moon. So, and it's kind of yeah. So it will be a sun of going to your inner vision to develop the dreaming state. All to know completely the conquest won't be outside, will be inside. And that's why in Mexico they were eagle warriors and jaguar warriors. The eagles were for the outside and the jaguars from the inside. And it will be such a change that will begin, because if you develop these kind of things, you become really powerful. You can enter, that's what Castaneda meant with this Nahual, but he referred like a person. You can really enter in the dreams of the others and control them if you want. Or it will be a totally different way of seeing the life. But also you can, if you do it for the welfare, for the well of all the humanity, like I am trying to teach, you can change your life and enter in other people's dreams to heal them. So this new sun is a sun of darkness, not of bad things. It's this, because darkness for us is the inside, the inner vision. The forces of the moon of the night will be the rulers, like for the past 6,000 years, the forces of the sun, the outside, were the rulers. The calendar, like I told you, has like the behavior, if we can say it like that, of all the cosmos, but it also has like the personal influences. By the day you were born, in the time, like kind of astrology, but very different. You have like a study of yourself that is named Tonal Nahual. Your tonali, your Nahuali, who you are in the tonal, which are the challenges for your awaken that are given by the sun. But we are the only culture, at least that I know, that we have the study for who you are in the Nahual. How does your Nahual behaves in the night before knowing anything? It's so interesting, because probably you have seen that there are wonderful people in the tonal, that they are vegetarians, meditate a lot, and they suddenly get sick. And there are terrible persons in the tonal that never happens to them nothing. It doesn't have logic for the karma laws and all those things, but for us it's totally logic. You must know who is your Lord or your Lord of the night, who is your Nahual. So probably you are impeccable and a very good person in the tonal, but your Nahual does terrible things, or is very dualistic. And there are people that in the tonal are very dualistic, but everything that they fix, awaken, his Lord or Lady of the Night fixes it in the sleeping. So to really know yourself, you must know who you are awake and who you are sleeping. And there is by calendar this study. But then when you have this information, is to overcome that. If you have a very bad Lord of the Night or Lady of the Night, how to command, especially commanding. For example, I have a kind of good one. So for the ones that have a kind of good one, it's easier to command the dream, but it's not so important because he will command you to positive things by nature. For example, my tonal is very complicated. I don't want to say to look like arrogant, because my tonal is really complicated. And when I was young, I had all the problems of my tonal study. But then my Nahual little by little began like getting more influence, so my life changed totally. But when you know who you are awakened and who you are is sleeping, you have a much more knowledge about you and what to do in your life. So it's such a big tradition with so many things, so many tools to help, yeah, and to become the best possibility of you.
So we got the calendar that is kind of astrological, reference of what we are, and also darling, it's better to hurry up because we need really to prepare ourselves to any kind of situation. So I would like just to ask to Sergio, how are those techniques and exercises to get to achieve, to not to control, but to deal with the tonal and in Nahual?
Okay, for example, there are many techniques. For the tonal, for example, we have complete measures of how the universe behaves. So, for example, you try to reproduce the behavior, the rhythm and movement, that's the most exactly, of the universe in yourself by breathing. That's the most teachable thing abroad, because we have dances, mathematical dances, we have lots of ways of doing it. But for example, if you breathe with the numbers of the sun and all those things, it's like in the Holy Father, like it's in the heavens, it's in the earth, but not just saying it, doing it. So you apply the numbers of the mathematic of Venus, that for us was Quetzalcoatl, of the moon, that is the black Tezcatlipoca, the unconscious, the sun, and create the rhythms of the cycles of the universe, the 52, that is our relation with the Pleiades, and making exercises with that. It's so wonderful to reestablish like the measure and movement of the universe into you. For the Nahual and the hidden part and all those things, this is the kind of training of some kind of readings before going to sleep, to plant dreams with the exact codexes, the obsidian mirror. That is amazing. This mirror done by this black stone, polished like a mirror, where you can see your unconscious and how to deal with it. And it's amazing when you see your what we call chichimecáktól, your own enemy, the one of you, the part of yourself that destroys yourself, that makes you sick, that sabotages yourself, and how to control it, how to enter in peace with that part of you that was apparently hidden and that people don't want to face. How to transform your chichimecáktól, your enemy, into a friend. There are so many things we could say.
This is very interesting. Very interesting,
I love it. That's why I dedicated all my life to this.
Yeah, but to help ourselves, even to help the dark part that we have, the shadow of our life that sometimes drive us crazy, because you feel to have no control about your life. Instead, you give us a tool to lead our life and not be led by a dark or a stranger that is inside ourselves. So it's very important. Can you explain it a little bit more?
Of course. I know now in all the New Age and mainly the lots of traditions, they are so worried about the light. I'm not criticizing angels to be with the purple light, everything good, to become the good one. For us, the archetype of the good one was Quetzalcoatl. That is like kind of the knowledge. But we say in the tradition, it begins in the black Tezcatlipoca. It can be a black Tezcatlipoca that never develops in a Quetzalcoatl, but there haven't been never a Quetzalcoatl that didn't begin in the black Tezcatlipoca. So for us, the main training, it begins in the darkness of your own cave, the unconscious, the dreaming, and transforming that, then you can get to the light. If not, it's just you have good moments in meditations and other things, but then you go back to who you were. You never develop really into a changed person, because you never took control of those hidden parts of you that are quite it's, for example, the black Tezcatlipoca, we have it divided in several stages. The idea of you, the story you gave to that idea. In Nahuatl, they have all Nahuatl names. The enemy, the part of you that makes you fight with the others, the part of you that surrenders to your temptations. All these kind of steps that were part of yourself. That's why it's a training in the mirror. You can see how the eyes change of all of them one, and how to make that friend that was your own enemy, and that we all have. We must accept it to become a friend.
Thank you, really thank you, Sergio. Do you like to say something to our darling?
I would like to say to people to really make of these years the best you can. If you have the information, do something with that in the tradition you want, but act. The universe is being born in a new cycle now. You can be born again, so it's your opportunity to rise with the sun, so use it.
Thank you very much to you, darling, to have been with us, and thanks to Sergio for his important work. Thank you, Sergio.
Oh, thank you to you. Tlazocamati, Nahuatl, Marcia, Tlazocamati to everyone that hears this. I am so happy to do it. I am so happy to there was a prophecy in Mexico of the last Tlactuani, that was the ruler, that he said, let's have, before the conquest, 2 days before, let's hide in our houses. Let's transmit this knowledge from father to son, from master to student, because it will be needed with the sixth son, and the time is now. And now is when it's going out. So I'm so happy to be part of that ancient prophecy of Cuauhtémoc 500 years ago, that he said that this knowledge was going to be needed and understand in all the world in these times.